Hey you, it's me, Justin McDonald. And I'm here with you to give you some more results. And you're like, why is he talking in that thing, but I can't hear him any better? That's because this is just a prop. No, I could use this, but not through my phone. It's got USB. I was just being a smarty. You know? Why isn't this guy got proper equipment? Why is he so ghetto? You know? Whatever. You know? I don't have no fancy equipment. I don't got no fancy lights or anything like that. So, hey, if that's what you want, some polished person just, telling you things that you already probably know, some cookie cutter stuff. There's plenty of people out there that are actually doing that. And good for them. Did I mess up the angle? Because my phone looks a little weird. No, it's fine. It's good enough. You know, I put pants on today. You know, that's something for you, you know? Anyways. I could say happy Friday, right? But I don't really want to timestamp these. So even though today's Friday, it could be whatever day it is that you're watching this or listening to this. And to me, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, if you're an entrepreneur, you know, you ain't really working for the weekend, are you? You're probably pretty much working for your business. And, you know, sometimes a lot of us Monday is Saturday. Sometimes, just if you actually like what you're doing, why can't Monday be enjoyable? If you don't look forward to Monday, you might want to reconsider what it is that you do for a living. I'm not saying quit your job, but you hate Mondays. I mean, I'm not saying you're supposed to like love work and love every aspect of it, but I am. I love work. I love work so much that I don't even seem like I do work. I don't know. It's just one of those things that maybe you're born with it, maybe you develop it. I don't know. It's one of those things I ponder. It's like us entrepreneurs, are we born this way or is it something that develops? No, really though. Like I almost think that people are born as entrepreneurs. It's weird. And sometimes you don't see it that way. Like we see it in the form of people like they might end up doing drugs or just goth or have some alternative lifestyle or be an outsider, a black sheep, a super nerd. There's like all these different names we get called and different phases we go through. But in the end, it's like all those people that go through that stuff, even like crazy alcoholics and drug addicts and stuff like that, a lot of them end up being entrepreneurs or they were. They just we're a species. If you're an entrepreneur, that's not quite easy to figure out. Like we're a tough nut to crack, right? And that's why I'm saying we, because like anybody that like really actually owns a business, not just for the like aesthetics, but like you're just like there's something about the independence and the freedom or just having like the control or having I don't know what it is. It's different for everybody, but like being an entrepreneur is just I feel like it's kind of like in your blood and then you discover and like it like you like it comes out of you as you get older, I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Some people a lot of people got into business not thinking that when they were younger and like what do you want to be when you grow up like that was going to be their thing. So that's why like I still do think that maybe we were kind of born just different. Like, there's actual laws of economics and laws of business. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't think it's an accident that this stuff kind of happens. So here I go, not delivering the message right away because I know somebody complained about that not too long ago. But I don't care. I think I already said that. Like, I'm gonna go into all different tangents and rambles, and I'm gonna spin around in my chair like an idiot. And these are off the cuff, okay? You ever watch live music? You ever watch live comedy? Well, this is entrepreneur talk, but just off the cuff. Um, some of it's from my own experience. Some of it's from reading and learning about other people's experience that actually happened. Or just networking and talking with other entrepreneurs. But this is like a full time, full day, everyday job for me. It's not. I don't like want to call it a job. It's like I don't know. It's almost like a drug. Marketing. It's weird. It's like once that was like activated in my mind, like I can't put it to bed. I can't. Like I literally like I'll go to bed like before I go to bed, like I'll like read and rewrite sales letters. I know it sounds weird, but like TV is not something that I'm really into anyways, but like I can't like just go to I try not to, it doesn't really work out. If I try to like watch TV or watch something and just go right to bed, like I don't know, it's like the screens or something do something, but like I don't know if you've ever had that problem, like you like had insomnia or anything like that because just like the screens, like sometimes I get even a headache from it. But one like remedy, that's why I'm bringing it up is like reading and writing. Um, I've rewritten like hundreds and hundreds of sales letters, and I never once was like, this is some chore. Like, I have to do this. I don't know what it was, but it's just like I started getting addicted to just rewriting sales letters. It's so weird. That's what got me into copywriting. It's like literally copyright. Some of the greatest copywriters, I'm sure, would say that or do that, and you know what I mean. Maybe that's like what kept me going with it. Is like if I want to be or write like the greatest, like I gotta study this stuff. Um, and it's weird. Like if you read and rewrite sales letters, what ends up happening like before you go to bed, you just think like an advertiser, but not like a schemy one. You start thinking like a storytelling advertiser. Because like these sales letters from like over 50 years ago, I don't care. I'm just going to pull any random one out. I have actually two binders full. I'll probably have more. Uh, just like any of them. Your home can be stunning thanks to new book of color harmonies. Now you can have new rooms in a day. All these, though, they're all storytelling. You know what I mean? Every single one of these is not just like, come on down and buy this thing, it's on sale. It's like, it's telling you like a story. A lot of times it has value to it. Look at this one. Let me see if I can pull this one out real quick. We're going to have a little fun today. This one says, what's the difference between appetite and hunger? What makes people crave more food than their bodies use up? Are they really hungry, or do their appetites fool them? How can sugar help you train your appetite to match your body's actual needs? There's a Q&A here too. It's like, is it possible to get used to eating less? Why, A, yes it is. Sometimes people confuse hunger, the need for food, and appetite, the desire for food. You can train your appetite and re-educate it to match your real needs. This is a natural way of weight control. What is the best way to start? Leading nutritionists suggest eat the same foods you are accustomed to in good variety. Simply cut down on portions. This may include sugar for energy and as an aid in cutting down. Question: how can sugar help you stay satisfied on less food? This is interesting because it's like promoting sugar. It is a scientific fact that no other food can satisfy appetite faster than sugar. When mothers want children to eat more food, they forbid the eating of sweets before mealtime. When you want to eat less food, you could turn this to your advantage and use sugar to help you subtract calories. By the way, that's not a good idea. That leads to emotional eating, and they say that you shouldn't like reward kids or even yourself with dessert after dinner. I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one. I still eat dessert or whatever, but you don't want to like think of like rewarding just eating food with food. It does kind of not make sense. It's counterintuitive. So I don't agree with that. But anyways, does sugar contribute to basic nutritional needs? Yes. Carbohydrate foods such as sugar are a primary source of energy needed to maintain all life processes and to carry on every activity. When a too drastic diet provides too little quickly available energy, you tire easily. You're apt to slow down. When you slow down, you burn up fewer calories and thus defeat the purpose of the diet. Ounce for ounce, no other food energy supplies energy so fast. No other food supplies energy so fast with so few calories as sugar. My God. Question: can artificial sweeteners help to train the appetite? No. These drugs supply only sweetness without any of the physiological satisfaction or energy value you get from sugar. From every standpoint, the natural way to effective and lasting weight control is a sensible diet which may include sugar. You know what? I'm going to bookmark that for a moment. 18 calories and a level 2 teaspoon of sugar and so much satisfaction. No other food curbs your appetite so fast with so few calories. And this is Sugar Information Inc. in New York 5, New York. All statements in this message apply to both beet and cane sugar. This is interesting propaganda for, or whatever you want to call it, for sugar, huh? But it's not like buy Domino's sugar. It's on sale this week. It's like a great, this was so good about sales reps. You see what I mean? Like, you go to bed like that, like, just mad lib that for a second, right? What could you replace sugar with right there? Oh, yeah, and by the way, I look at the end, too, where it says, can artificial sweeteners help train the appetite? No. So, like, all right, I don't think that it's probably a good idea to take the advice on sugar that it was talking about before, right? Like, that's not really current science that we can also support because of obviously sugar's got a lot of not good things attached to it, right? But how about that though? No. And like the reason why I bring that up is because like think about all the diet soda, diet things out there, and people have this illusion that if they buy diet stuff, diet this, diet soda, that it's going to train their appetite. Because right, it's called diet. It's like when something's called diet something, what is diet something? Diet is a marketing term, isn't it? Diet is a marketing term. Like light, like LITE, right? It's a marketing term. It's not actually like it's not necessarily a science, except, marketing is a science, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that's fascinating too, how, like, it's like, no. And it's like, it's funny because, like, a lot of these soda companies and everything too have been pushing the other, like no, like eat Weight Watchers stuff, eat diet things because it's gonna put you in some kind of mindset or whatever. Ooh. Can I read, if you don't mind, a Reynolds one? You could skip through this if you're not watching this live. If you're watching this live, thank you for joining me. We're having a little fun today. I'm kind of going through some sales letters that I love these because, like, they're old as hell. These are like probably mid-50s, early. Like I don't think any of them in this binder go past like 1960. So this is like Mad Men era. Mad Men era. Um, I like this one. This one is a Reynolds one. For more and more millions of women. Wow. You can't get away with that anymore, right? That was another thing too about these ads too, is like there when it comes to like gender things and stuff too, like the roles of men and women, like they were let's just say not so up to date with how things are now. But I still get a kick out of this stuff. Um, for more and more millions of women roast, because they assume women are the ones roasting turkeys. Roasting a turkey in Reynolds Wrap is part of the Thanksgiving tradition. Quicker way to more turkey flavor and more meat. You know what else too though? I know like there's like this gender stereotype thing going on too, but like at the same time, do you not know or have you not met a grandma somewhere that cooks better than everybody else and anybody else? So like even as a guy, if I were to read an ad, right, that like this is where America is kind of weird. Like if I read an ad like this and it still said like millions and millions of women roasting turkey and Reynolds Wrap as part of the Thanksgiving tradition, like I would actually think of like my aunt and my grandma and stuff like that too, like cooking like Thanksgiving turkey and like also like looking up to that. You know what I mean? If there were like millions of dads out there like roasting, like oh come on, like dad doesn't even wash his hands before he touches like. So in a way, like I'm kind of glad sometimes they had some gender stereotypes too, because like I just feel like I don't know, I'm gonna gender stereotype right now. I feel like women are maybe a little bit cleaner and better cooks generally. Um, I mean, I cook. I consider myself a good cook, and I consider myself a better cook than a lot of women too. So I'm not trying to be like that at all. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? From like let's say you didn't know how to cook at all. Let's say if you're just somebody that's just male or female, didn't know how to cook at all. But they were talking about the millions and millions of women out there that were cooking turkey, and you're thinking of your grandma and your aunt and your mom that used to cook all these great Thanksgiving dinners. I don't think that gender stereotype is necessarily that detrimental because like you're just like yeah like they used to cook really well like the best like I want to cook like that. I don't know. I know some people are gonna get all like weird about that, but I don't know. It was a different time and place, so I can appreciate it for that. Um, Also, before I go on with this ad too, there's a lot of background noise. I got some funk music playing, and then I think I told you guys before, if you didn't know, I'm also a first responder. I'm a firefighter, but like a little bit more behind the scenes, and it's been like kind of like a active day, I guess you can say too. So I've got like the scanner on right now, so I'm just like hearing all this crazy stuff that's going on today. It's just kind of interesting. Also, I just, I've been so busy today that I couldn't get to this until now, whatever time it is. Quicker way to more turkey flavor and more meat. We will get to this in a moment. Let me just read this one. It's now as traditional as cranberry jelly. Reynolds Wrap to roast your turkey in. They didn't even, by the way, they didn't even like put like their logo and they didn't even boldface or anything like that. Reynolds Wrap to roast your turkey in, and how much better it is. Wrapped in this pure aluminum foil, your turkey can be cooked at high heat in much less time. And you don't have to watch it. No basting. You can relax with guests. No oven splattering either. The juices are all sealed in. That's why you get more flavor and actually more meat. And actually more meat when you roast in Reynolds Wrap. Here's the tested Reynolds Wrap higher heat method. More details in new booklet banded to packages. Lay truss turkey breast up a long sheet of Reynolds Wrap. Use 18-inch wide heavy duty or join two 12-inch widths together by double folding edges. Put small folds over foil over wingtips and ends of legs to prevent puncturing. Now bring foil up, overlapping edges 3 inches and molding to the shape of the bird. Place in shallow pan, a hot 450-degree oven, preheated, following our approximate roasting times. And of course, it's got all the roasting times. Ready to cook. Weight before stuffing 6 to 9 pounds, 2.25 to 2.5 hours. You know what? I'm not going to read all those, and it just tells you the different times and stuff. Now open the foil and admire your plump golden turkey. Meat thermometer inserted in thigh should read about 190 degrees. If you want it brown or roast, 15 minutes more, foil open. Make gravy your usual way and bow to the praise. Insist on Reynolds wrap. Well, they did capitalize at that time. 4-1. Favorite among household folks. Look for this seal of Reynolds Wrap protection on packaged products. And remember this page for Thanksgiving morning. Reynolds Metals Company, Louisville, Kentucky. See the dramatic bit Circus Boys Sundays, NBC TV network. See, that's the one thing I would have taken out. See the dramatic bit Circus Boys Sundays, NBC TV network, because that right there dates your ad. Like everyone like, what the hell are you talking about? Circus Boys Sundays. So they probably had some stupid little ad or cartoon, right? And you know what? I wrote on this too. Like it was like 10 to 13 pounds, 2.75 to 3 hours. 14 to 17 pounds, 3 to 3.25 hours. 18 to 21 pounds, 3.25 to 3.5 hours. 22 to 24 pounds, 3.5 to 3.25 hours. And I put might be useful, might be helpful still today. It is. If you were to like cook a turkey up, right, and you didn't like internet was out, right, but you had like electricity, this right here would be a great guide because you're like, oh, I have this many. I have a 15-pound turkey, so I want to do it between 3 and 3.25 hours. You know what made this ad so fascinating is what would help you guys too. Is look at how they're adding so much value. They didn't go features, benefits. Hey, technobabble, like our Reynolds wrap is made out of this high-tech NASA metal that is mined from somewhere. They didn't go into any of that. They didn't say, come on down and buy this, buy that. Comes in 20 different colors and sizes and flavors. It's telling you valuable information. A quicker way to more turkey flavor and more meat. And they actually give you really good details too. They paint a picture in your head. You don't want to splatter everywhere. Take a bow, put it in a shallow pan, telling you how things should be. Lay it this way, lay it that way. More flavor and not having to watch it, no basting. You can relax with your guests. Let's have a good old time instead of having to like watch this turkey like a babysit all night. Like, this is such a good ad. Do you see why I go to bed reading these things? Because sometimes you can learn things from them, which is interesting, and that's what a lot of these sales letters used to do. They would have to be a little more creative now. You mean they might not have the aid of a visual, right? Or hey, for all you know, some of these sales letters could be actually read just the way I am right now to actually advertise them on TV. So if you don't know what copywriting is, right? If you're somebody that's actually watching this that doesn't know what copywriting is, I'm sure you could just Google it and find out. But like anything that's going into the copy, as in like an ad, is copywriting. So I would say some of these sales letters could be scripts for actual ads that they put on TV or on the radio. The incredible story of the Zippo lighter. I mean, and that this one too. This one's actually a short. I'm gonna do one more. Why the Zippo man spent $300,000 on this tiny wheel? Isn't that a great headline? Why the Zippo man spent $300,000 on this tiny wheel? Doesn't that make you like a little bit curious, like curiosity? Like I think it picks curiosity a little bit. In the spring of 1946, the Zippo man made a sad discovery. Some of the striking wheels in the Zippo letters were not as good as he had been led to believe. Sure, there were plenty of good wheels, but some poor ones had crept into. They would not give the kind of year in, year out service that he demands of every part in a Zippo. So, in spite of booming business, he called a halt. Stop, everybody! Stop the presses! Nobody was laid off. He just wasn't shipping. He just wouldn't ship any more lighters. He's like, no, I don't like the wheels in these. The Zippo man began his search for the finest striking wheel in the world. Where can I find my wheel? I need a wheel for my Zippo, he says. Experiments were made with every kind of steel he could lay his hands on. He had thousands of wheels made. Look at this wheel. I got this wheel, this wheel. I got so many wheels. But perfectionist that he is, bad for business, by the way, being a perfectionist, the Zippo man still wasn't satisfied. He's like, I can't get no satisfaction. Except this was way before the Rolling Stones wrote that song. He talked to some of the world's greatest metallurgists. I've never heard that word before. Metallurgists. Look it up. Must be a metal person. I'm in a metal, dude. Then, with his own craftsman and a little bit of luck, he developed a striking wheel that makes your Zippo lighter a lifetime companion. You know what, though? Zippos are no joke. Like, you see somebody with a Zippo, like, they're pretty passionate about it. They're like, I've had this Zippo for, like, my granddaddy gave it to me. This is one important reason why the Zippo man, they're not saying his name. They're just calling him the Zippo man. Like he's like a hero, like with a cape. He's like, I'm here with my wheels. I'm going to save the Zippo company. Is able to offer you this incredible guarantee. A guarantee, no matter how old it is or what condition, if a Zippo ever fails to work, now this is in italics, by the way. If a Zippo ever fails to work, he'll fix it free. Come on. Zippo Manufacturing Company, Bradford, Pennsylvania, and Canada Limited, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Wow. Isn't this a story or what? It's a short one, too. Why the Zippo man spent almost $500,000 on this tiny wheel? I don't know. I like these. I gotta say. I'm just reading some random ones, so you get some fun with that one. Alright, so now let's get down to this, right? I don't know. Do we agree with it or not? I don't know. I didn't quote it because it's in my own words. And I did actually get this message. Am I still live? I better be. Yeah, I am. Is anybody actually watching this? Yes. Somebody is watching this. I see a comment. Alright, so I got the inspiration for this quote. I'm really excited about this, by the way. This is a really good one, and I had to send it to my mentor, too. I was like, dude, look at my lesson today. Because I wrote this down, like, a couple years ago. We were, like, in, like, the thick of the pandemic, and I was going through a course by Andre Chaperon and Peter Spapin. Peter Spapin's no longer with us. He passed away a couple of years ago. But they created a great program together. I don't know if I'm supposed to even really drop it, so I'm just letting you know it was by them two, where I kind of like was going through their course material and I came up with this. And private and direct messages, PMs and DMs, will end up being the only useful tool left on social media. So PMs and DMs will end up being the only useful tool left on social media. Isn't that interesting? I wrote that a couple years ago, and I just actually, I'm kind of an idiot. Like, I just really started getting turned on to the fact of doing PMs and DMs. Like, I was never really a social media guy. That's why you're just starting to see this stuff now, because I'm like, I was just kind of hiding out, like doing my own thing in my own world, and I didn't like. I don't know. I was just like maybe like too shy or whatever it was to like tap into this and like bring and deliver it, right? And like try some of this stuff out, and then like kind of show people how I'm getting to there, getting to the point here. So like PMs and DMs, like all right. The problem with I have with this quote is when I said I'll write and underline it is this only. Uh, only is not a really good word to be using in business anyways. Um, because I mean no one can really agree that it's gonna be the only useful tool. But you know what? It is one of the most useful tools left on social media. Is it not? And to like kind of like put that on steroids a little bit too, I wrote on the back of this card too, um, that and small Facebook virtual meetings like Zoom. This is when Zoom was first hitting the market, and private message groups like WhatsApp groups will also be like those tools that are left that are still like very useful in social media. And you know, this is probably coming from a time where people are still like wasting time, like spending too much time like on like fake news kind of stuff, like cat video like stuff, not like actual cat videos, but just like we still kind of are like in this age of just like stupid idiot like just like waste your time and brain kind of stuff that people post on social media. And that like it's like it was like that kind of content, like this junk, like junk food is like what like the masses seem to really want. And that's why it was like this is what made this quote like real, not a quote, but like that's what the message I got out of that course, at least that part of it like really stuck out to me. um is like this communication that we're having on these social media platforms where you know we used to just talk on the phone, and then it became like text, right? And then for a while a lot of us like, you know what I mean, like it took a little while, like now some people like they only text, like text first and then goes to phone call. And you had emails, right? Some people only communicate or never communicate on email. uh, but these private and direct messages is kind of like, you know, like the new age of, you know, email or talking on the phone or fax machine or whatever. And like as these platforms change, like there'll be another one next year, there was a different one, you know what I mean, like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook might be here for a long time from now, and Pinterest and LinkedIn, but we don't know. They might change. Who knows? Different rich billionaires might end up buying them up, and they might vaporize them. They might merge. There's all different things that can happen. Some of them are canceling people and kicking people off for the dumbest things. Um, so like just knowing that like this communication where we have like these private messages like WhatsApp and Signal um and like private like encrypted messages and all that stuff, like these are the things that are going to be very valuable tools when it comes to like communicating with each other. And like, you know, I'm sure some of you, a lot of you know too, like in especially in business, like there's kind of like an art and like almost like an unsaid like law or way on how we're supposed to communicate to each other, and what people call cold DMs, like sliding into cold DMs. I'm still learning the art of that too. And like, you know, that's like one hot topic right now. It's on social media too. Is like, it's like the same kind of philosophy when people are cold calling, cold emailing, um, direct mail, like cold direct mailing, and by cold just, you know, like just right off the cuff, like you this is the first time you're contacting that person, and they might not know who you are. They don't. Well, they probably don't know who you are, but they might be like in. They might be like a good prospect for you. So that's why that's one thing that a lot of people don't like, or maybe some people do like, but it's like one of those. It's kind of like knocking on people's doors, basically, but it's a more new agey way of doing it, right? Cold calling, cold DMing, cold emailing. It's kind of like just being dropped off in the middle of nowhere and knocking on people's doors and saying, "Hey, you want to buy some whatever?" So like, what do you think is going to be the most useful tool on social media? Like, do you agree? Do you think that the private and direct messages are like the more useful ones? When you start thinking about like dollar bill, like if you go beyond likes and stuff like that, like think about the conversations you've had with your clients or future clients and stuff like that. What was like out of all the tools on every social media platform, what was the most useful? If you want to say the most useful, I'm going to agree with that. But I'm not going to say, I don't know if you know what? I don't know if it's the only useful one. There's other things that are very useful with social media. That's why I'm just like, you know what? This is one of the first times I'm going to actually say I'm going to disagree with one of the words in here by saying only. But I still am fascinated by this because like of when it like if you want to timestamp this a little bit, like it was like what 2020, it was like 3 years ago, and like that's when Zoom was just like people were still like on the like I don't know if I trust Zoom. There was a lot of I still don't actually, but like there was a lot of like people like hacking into the Zooms and stuff, and like like important business meetings and school stuff and things like that. People doing weird stuff. So like people were still like just like when the internet was new and like people that want to use a credit card because they're like it's sketchy. Like Zoom meetings kind of had that phase too, like back in like 2019, 2020. It was like the technology was still kind of new, you know. But yeah, private message groups too. Like if you're in one, like with your phone and texting and stuff like that, like these are very useful tools. So like again, the platforms might change, the rules might change. What's cool and hip today is gonna change tomorrow. But like certain communications where you can have like a private or direct message with somebody. That's why they're called PMs and DMs. Is actually a very crucial aspect of this whole thing too. So this was a kind of a longer one, and I really appreciate you still sticking around, whoever is sticking around. And have a lovely day, and peace be with you.